Listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for GoldMine 101, our regular series of short GoldMine presentations focusing on different topics around GoldMine. And this morning I'm going to go over how to stay on top of duplicate records that may be occurring in your GoldMine system. Now, this presentation will be approximately quarter of an hour or so in duration. It's just an overview of this feature. It's not meant to be in-depth training. My company, Wizard Systems, offer many extensive training options should you like to explore them with us. Now on the call today, we've got people using, I know, all sorts of different versions, releases of GoldMine. I'll be showing you the latest version, but pretty much everything I mentioned to you is relevant to all versions of GoldMine. The deduplication feature, the Merge Purge feature, has been in all recent versions of GoldMine, going back a long time. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to answer those at the end. Probably best to type them in as you think of them rather than waiting for the very last minute. If any late questions do come in, I'll answer those separately via email. Also, at the end, I'll give you an update on any GoldMine product news that we've got as well. So the call is being recorded. After the presentation, you'll get an email, an automatic email from our system with a link to recording, which you can obviously play back at your leisure, and we'll most likely pop it up on our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get started. As I normally do, just a very brief mention about my company, Wizard Systems, long-standing supplier of GoldMine. We have implemented well over 3,000 systems all over the UK and further afield. All we do is CRM, and we've got lots of services around GoldMine should you want to explore them with us. So, for example, implementations, customizing GoldMine, integrating with other applications. We also supply a wide range of GoldMine add-ons, popular GoldMine add-ons that extend GoldMine's functionality. We also provide any sort of training that you might want on GoldMine, any kind of level. We can train you at your place. You can come to us. We're based near Bristol. We can do it online. And we've got a friendly, responsive help desk service as well. Okay, so let's pop into my demonstration system and just briefly discuss the strategy, the options that you've got for managing duplicate records. So here is GoldMine, a typical contact record, latest version of GoldMine. And thinking about prevention, first of all, records entering a system and thinking about the ways that they may come into GoldMine. Well, of course, there is an import feature, and there are sneaky little ways when you're doing an import to using the matching feature to potentially spot duplicates or prevent them entering into your GoldMine system. Then if users are manually entering in records, they will click on a new record, a new contact record icon there, and you have this duplicate checking section where, based on an exact match of these options here, and these are sticky settings, so once you select them or deselect them, GoldMine will remember that for the next occurrence, for the next time you enter a new record. So that's another useful way. It does do an exact match, so if there's a slight misspelling or different syntax of whatever it is you're typing in there of the primary phone number. So phone number 1 is the primary phone number, email address, obviously the primary email address of the contact. It's going to warn you there as you enter in that record. So nice thing to remember and advise your users, your colleagues on when entering new records. So assuming we do have a duplicate record in our system going through now, what can you do about it? Well, as you spot them when you're doing a contact search, there is a way of merging duplicate records. So this whole thing about managing duplicate records in GoldMine is called Merge Purge. You're merging records and you may be deleting, purging the offending record. So if I do a little search now, one that I prepared earlier, so I do a search for Fred test. Here we are, a typical example. I've got 2 Fred tests in my system. I may have more, you know, there could be loads of duplicates that I might be finding here on my contact search. So 2 Freds, looks like they work for the same company. One's actually got limited on the end of it. This second record here also has an email address. So clicking on these tick boxes, you are tagging that record, and the record that you tag first, the record that you select first, will be the primary record that you merge the other information to. So if I think the second one here is the better one, and obviously I could be changing what columns I see here, is the better one. I'm going to select that one first, and then secondly the offending record, which I'm going to merge to the primary record. So that's it. I tagged the various records there, and then from my tools menu and data management and merge purge records, I have this third option here, merge tag records. Now administrators, beware, any administrators out there of GoldMine, what I'm about to do here is going to delete this record, and there's no edit undo in this process. So once you've done it, if a record's been deleted, effectively it's been removed from your GoldMine system. So if you don't want your colleagues to do this, you've got to remove these options from their menu or their privileges. Anyway, so merge tag records, and GoldMine is just confirming what I've said there. Do you want to merge these records, and the records that I tag secondly will be merged to the primary record? Yes, I do. We now have one record, Fred, and if I go to Fred's record, there it is there. All of the other information across the tabs will be consolidated. So if there were notes, there were history activities. If, for example, I had 3 activities on one record and 5 activities on another record, then I'm going to end up with one record with 8 activities. You're not going to lose any information, but it will overwrite the primary contact fields there. Now in this example, where I merged this contact record, on the additional contacts tab, you will, GoldMine does do this, it will put in the record that I had detected, the secondary record there. Maybe to tidy this up, you would delete that record. So yes, to delete that. There we are, job done, all tidied. So that's the quick way of merging tagged records, merging records, duplicate records as and when you spot them, provided you've got the privileges to do that via the contact search feature of GoldMine. Now the other more sophisticated way of running a deduplication exercise over your entire database, or maybe just a portion of the database, is to use the Merge Purge wizard. Again, it's back on your tools menu and data management, Merge Purge records, Merge Purge records wizard. Up will pop normally a cautionary notification here alerting you, strongly recommended that you take a full backup of your GoldMine database, because once you have deleted records, they are effectively gone. So I click OK here, and I'm now at the first screen of this wizard that will just display in front of me a few screens just asking me for the parameters, the choices around this deduplication option. So first of all, I can use, as you create these merge operations, you can save them for later use them time and time again, or you could create your own selection. So I'm actually going to, from a point of view of speed, I'm actually going to select a predefined one I did earlier. So I'm just going to click next here, go to the second screen, and here's all my previous match options that I've selected. I'm going to select that first one there called company and contact match, so try to make it descriptive over what it's doing. Here I'm now prompted for the filter all groups, so I could look at the whole GoldMine database if I wanted to. I could narrow my my operation down to just a selection, just some basic records within a filter or group. So click Next. Now this is a very important setting here, the comparison options that you want to consider. It might be a little bit daunting first time you do this, but GoldMine gives you what they call a qualifying weight, and this is nominally set to 50 at the moment. And then we select the one or many fields that we want to compare. And in my example, I'm comparing company and contact, and I've applied a weighting of 25 to both of them. Basically, as you select these fields for this comparison, you select the field that you want to home in on, and then the comparison method, soundX value, does it sound similar to this? First word, characters, case sensitive comparison, empty fields, and the actual weighting as well. So you select the multiple fields there for your comparison and the weighting for that. And if the combination of all of these meets the qualifying weight, then the merge purge will take place. If, for example, in my example here, if I just have a match of company but not a match of the contact name, no merge will take place. If there's an exact match of company contact, then a merge will take place. So click Next. A few more options to consider. Which record do you want to retain? The record that was created first, the record that you were last updating? Do you want to create additional contacts from those records, like you saw in my manual merging tagged records? And then do you want to have a prompting, see these records side by side? Do you want to do a dry run? Do you just want to run through the database and just give you a count of the potential duplicates there? So a few options to further consider. Now, the record, the offending record, the duplicate record, do you want to delete it, or do you want to update a field value in that record and then later trawl through them and then just maybe do something to those duff records? So normally you might select delete the record straight away. Click Next. Do you want to save this for later use? There we are. Very simple name, and I tried to make it fairly explanatory over the comparison method I've selected. So click Next and Finish. Wait a few seconds. If you've got a large database, then it might take a few seconds to kick into action here. And here we go. It's found my first match. Do you see? So on my left-hand side and my right-hand side, I've got these two different records, and I can see there are some differences between the two. As you look down through the contact fields, we can be looking over the tabs there. And then this little floating dialog box here, which is prompting me for what I want to do. So the default record, the default one is there. The non-default, the one on the right-hand side is the non-default one. I could skip this record, but basically, if I do click on one of these buttons, the merge purge is going to take place. So that's and it would just continue after it's found that one. It would then continue on to the next duplicate record. So that is the merge purge wizard. Make sure you've got backups, and also if you don't want to allow your users to stumble across this powerful feature of GoldMine, then remove it from their privileges. At least it is standard practice to make sure that people can't delete records, and maybe give them access to some of these for those people that don't know what they're doing, some of these dangerous options in there. As always, we do offer extensive training on this. We can provide online training. We do cover this feature in our admin training, our GoldMine admin training course. But if you just want to delve into this in more detail, we've been more than happy in running a little online session with you. So we've come to that part of the session for any questions that you may have here. So please type those into the question box and I'll do my best to answer those. First question from Brian. Can you dedupe on additional contacts? No, you can't, Brian, as standard. That would require some additional software, or maybe a little SQL query could detect some obvious duplicate records there. But no, unfortunately, we're working primarily on the primary contact information, the basic building blocks of GoldMine. Next question from Simon. When running a Merge Purge, should all users be logged out of GoldMine? Good question, Simon. Yes, it would be good practice to make sure all users are logged out of GoldMine because if they are happening to be editing a record, they are locking that record to them, and then the merge would not take place. So it's good practice to do this in some downtime. Do the backup. Advise users that you're going to be doing this purge operation. But yeah, good practice to make sure everyone is logged out of GoldMine. Jenna is asking, how good is it on larger databases? Well, I suppose it depends on what you mean by larger databases. Okay, so you've got nearly 20,000 records. That should be okay. We do have some clients with hundreds of thousands of records where this option may not be advisable. We have some different options for you, but using the native version option in GoldMine, it could be a little bit laborious, shall I say? But fine on that, 20,000, that's fine. That's no problem at all, Jenna. Next question from Lewis. What is the merge open records on the menu? Lewis, it is possible to have open multiple records at the same time. Yeah, normally you just have one record open at a time. Then you browse to another record, and then that becomes the current open record. It is possible to, with Windows, to open up multiple records at the same time if you want to. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions coming through there. So just a little bit of GoldMine news. We are expecting the next major release, the GoldMine 2017.1, any week now. We will be announcing that, of course, on our blog and by email to our GoldMine customers. This will have new functionality primarily around the web access and how you access it on your smartphone. So stay tuned for that. We don't have exact dates for that launch at the moment, but it is going through beta as the last final phase before the proper launch. We've got a GoldMine introduction training course on the 4th of April, great for any new starters, any new joiners to your company. That's a one-day course at Wizard Systems where, of course, we'll be covering through things to consider when you're entering in new records and cover that, those duplicate options on the new record window. So please contact us for more information on the agenda and costs. As always, please email me for any suggestions on future topics. For the short sessions, please email me. My name again is Tim Wilmot. Email address is tim@wizard-systems.com. But thanks very much for your attendance this morning. Watch out for the recording, and we'll catch up with you next time. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.